All right, welcome back to the Ernest P YouTube channel. So today we're going to be doing the front brakes on a Toyota Land Cruiser. They're pretty, well, they're not intuitive, so you kind of have to know what you're doing in order to do them. So we're going to go over that in this video. First things first, just lift the truck up, support it, safely, and we'll go ahead and get this tire off. So we'll check back in after we get this tire off and go from there. All right, so obviously this is going to be a video on how to replace the rotor, because if you need to replace the pads, you can obviously do that without having to take the caliper off even. Pretty simple. You pull these pins and your hardware, and that's it. And you can put those new pads, slide them right in. But obviously we're going to have to take this hub off here in order to remove the rotor. As you can see, they're connected. So we're going to go ahead and just take this caliper off, and then we'll check back in after that. Okay, now that we've got the pads taken out, we're gonna take this caliper. We can twist it and just tuck it behind there. So that keeps pressure off this hose here, it's fine. And it's just tucked way back there, so now we can work up here on the front with this rotor. What we're gonna do first is just take this cap off, so I'll tap it lightly with a rubber mallet. Perfect, so we gave that a little tap with the screwdriver, and off that comes. So hold on to that, we'll clean that grease out and put new grease in there. We've got a can of grease. There's a C-clip here on the front, so we will also use our screwdriver to take that C-clip off. They like to come flying out, so be careful, wear eye protection, whatever. But there's that C-clip, we just worked it out. And then this axle should be loose, you can see it moving there. That's all we need for now. We're gonna take these 12mm nuts off here, and then we'll tap on these studs to get them loose. And we'll take this cover off, and there's an axle nut back there. All right, so there you have it. I don't know why I had the number 12 in my head. They were obviously 14mm. Easy to tell just by looking, but those are off. Here's the washers. Now what we're gonna do is take just a center punch or punch of some sort, and we're gonna put it on the center of these studs here and tap them in. Oh, wrong stud. We're gonna put them on the center of the studs here and tap those inwards and get this cap to loosen up here. All right, so that's what it looks like once you get that stud to recess. Then you can get this cone washer out. If you can't get these out, then you're not gonna get that hubcap off. So just be persistent with it. Nice gentle taps, gentle to moderate taps in the center of that stud, and get it to loosen up here. You can work on that cone washer as you go, see if you can get it to loosen up. That's what I did here, and it worked pretty well. So we'll do that for all 6, and then we'll get this cap off. All right, so here's the best method I found for doing it, is to put a nut on there, maybe give it a few gentle taps, but you don't want to strip that out or smack it too hard. And then with that nut on there, put the center punch on and give it some taps like this. And then you're just looking for a little bit of space to start happening right there. So I'm going and just taking a screwdriver and prying on it a bit as I go like that, just to make sure it's coming loose. So there we go. So you can also tap on the cone washer once you've tapped it a little bit. I just did it there, and it came loose. So that one was actually the hardest one I think I've done. It started to come loose. We'll tap on here just a little bit more. But yeah, you just want to be careful, make sure you don't mess anything up. So just being gentle. There it comes. There you can see that cone washer coming out. Bingo. All right, now we can take this nut off, and that's the last one. There, so now we'll be able to get behind this hub cover here. Perfect. And pull it off. So let me pry it here. Bingo. We'll clean that grease up as well, and we're gonna repack this all with grease. So all right, so you have to knock these little retainers back, so you got to really kind of clean up most of that grease in order to see them. Then when you do, this is probably like a 42 millimeters nut here. I have a socket axle nut kit, and it doesn't even cover that, but luckily they're not put on pretty tight. What you do have to measure when you're done is how tight the hub is itself at the end, but they're not put on too tight, so I was able to use this big pair of chain locks here to pull that off. So just loosened it and it should come out here. There's 2 of these and there's that retaining clip in the middle, so we'll pull this one off and I'll show you what that retaining clip is, how it works. So there's one, and then here's that clip here. So it looks like this. 2 or 3 of them go to the back. I think 3 go to the front, 2 go to the back, but I only undid 2, so maybe just 2 go to the back and 2 go to the front. So there's 5 little tabs on them. You know, the 2 of them hold that back one together and the other 2 hold that front one together, so you have to knock those backwards and then this can come off. We'll remove that other nut, and then this whole hub should be able to come apart, and then there's these bolts here that hold it on. So we'll show you what that looks like when I get this assembly off. Okay, so here's what it looks like. I just wiped most of the grease off of that the spindle here. There's the wheel bearing. Be careful because those bearings can come out. I'm not going to wipe all the grease off of that, just to be extra careful with it. And then here's the inside of this here. So what we have to do is just get these 5 bolts undone here, and then that rotor should bolt right back onto that. So we'll go ahead and do that.